Ladies and gentlemen, good day, and welcome to Multi Commodity Exchange of India Limited Q3 FY21 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. P.S. Reddy, MD and CEO of the company. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, everybody, for attending the Q3 conference call. The numbers this quarter may be more or less flat, in my view. And in terms of ADT, we had this year about 31,374 crore ADT in this quarter, as against, not in this quarter, for year to date, 31,374 crores, as against 31,148 crores ADT for the entire 9 months that we have been through. Of course, the number of full trading days, the last year were 183, whereas this year, so far, it's 175. So there is an 8-day, loss in terms of number of full trading days. Okay, and off trading days are this full year is more, but as in the last year, of course. Having said this, the way that we went by is in terms of marketing and other new product introduction. I think it has yielded good results. In terms of UCCs, we have really done well in these 9 months. 387,480 total UCCs have new UCCs, not new UCCs, unique client codes have traded in these 9 months, as against a corresponding period 3.34 lakhs. So that's one good number that I can leave with you. Similarly, we have an ADT of new products that we have launched, the Bulldex and Metaldex. Almost all 270 crores. 270 crores for the current financial year, and Metaldex has clocked about 56 crores. Together 302 crores index futures ADT. This so far we have clocked it. As you are all aware, we are not charging them, but come 1st April, we will be charging the transaction fees. So we are not giving out any kind of concessions on this. The third element which I would like to speak is with respect to the crude oil margin reduction. Very recently, SEBI has permitted us to reduce crude oil margin from 130% to almost 50%. We have done it. There's still room for reduction in margins, and we will be doing that. We will be making a representation rather to SEBI, seek their consent to further reduction, because internationally we were informed that it's almost 10 to 12% or 10 to 15% is the margin, as against current margin of 50%. Even if we are able to come down to 20-25%, it is a much greater relief to market participants, especially when the volatility is not so much. So that is one representation we will be making it. But even with this reduction of from 130% to 50%, still the crude oil contract has not seen activity as much as we anticipated or expected. Probably come month of February, we will be able to see some kind of activity in this contract also. That is one dampener for us at this point in time. The kind of ADT we had last year is almost 13,000 crores. As against that, today we have the current financial year, we had about 2,600 crores. 2,600 crores in crude oil, as against 12,400 crores in the corresponding period last year for the 9 months. Of course, partly this crude oil role, maybe some of the investors have moved over to natural gas. So the corresponding period last year, about 1,500 crores is the natural gas, and the current 9 months we had about 4,123 crores natural gas ADT. So partly compensated, but overall it is 6,768 crores is the energy segment is giving us the ADT. Come to the other initiatives that we have taken with respect to admitting the Indian bullion refiners into the exchange goodwill list. We have completed the process. Of course, there are still some more applications. It's going to be a continuous process. But the first two bullion refiners have been identified, shortlisted, and approved by the internal committees. All that we have made application to SEBI, or rather informed SEBI, and we are yet to hear their clearance. Once we get it, those two bullion refiners will be notified, and that bullion will also be deliverable on the exchange platform. The other part of it is the lead is a base metal contract, where there also we wanted to allow domestic refiners to deliver metal on the exchange platform. There also the part of the process is complete, because there are 2 rounds of testers. That is actually the consumers of the lead metal have to satisfy themselves that the metal produced by these refiners is good enough for them to use in their production. So 1 round of testing is done. Maybe after a month's cycle, the second round of metal will be dispatched to those consumers. And once the certificates are good to go, probably again we will be doing this, subject to again a new condition that this particular lead grade has to be approved by the BIS, because they're not currently the part of the BIS standard. The BIS standard was made about 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. So we have applied to that. They are also doing their best to expedite the new lead grade to be introduced by the exchange. So these are the some of the initiatives that we have got. The other one is the electricity derivatives contract. We have already filed with the exchange. We filed with the regulator our contract specifications and approval, and they are examining it. Once it is done, probably we will be able to we will be able to launch the contract. So these are the for now the updates. As we go along, probably some more updates will come through. And I will ask Mr. Bolar to give few numbers if you so wish. And
thank you, Mr. Reddy. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll just talk of our consolidated figures. For the quarter ended December, as you have seen from our press release and uploads on the exchange, our total income was 125 crores. As compared to September, there's a fall of 9%. This is basically, as Mr. Reddy said, transaction charges, our average daily turnover has fallen from 38,000 crores to 31,000 crores in this quarter as compared to September. September, if you recall, was a great quarter because of the volumes in bullion. Unfortunately, we have not been able to maintain those volumes in bullion. But still, as compared, Mr. Reddy said, the 9 month ended as compared to last year, we're at par with the ADT. Our profit before tax is 67 crores as compared to 78 crores. There were certain additional expenses that were booked in this quarter, mainly because of CSR activities, and also some expenses that were incurred by our subsidiary, as you are aware, and members of the European Monetary Union. So there are certain membership fees that they had to pay. So that was booked in this quarter. And we had tax credit this time because as compared to the last quarter, because this, the quarterly tax provisions are made on the company's budgetary estimates, and in October there was a revision in our budget, and based on that, the tax provisions were made, and we realized that there would be a MAT utilization in the quarter. So because there was a MAT utilization in the quarter, we have a negative tax figure, unlike the previous quarter where we actually had an outflow of 19 crores. Yeah, of 16. Yeah, 9 crores. So with this, I'll leave it open to the question answer, and then we'll take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1. First question is from the line of Sujit Jain from ASK Investment Managers. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. One question is on volumes and options. Can the players have a cross margin benefit? At what stage will start charging for them? You spoke about electricity derivatives. What will be the revenue sharing arrangement with IEX? What is the progress of gold spot exchange? And one last question is, what is the progress in bank brokerage distribution, such as ICICI Securities? Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. The first question with related to the
Option volumes.
Option volumes. As I said, it's supposed to be a retail product, but in terms of 1 kilogram gold options, we are doing really well. If you see the open interest, it's almost all 5.5 tons. We have it open interest in the 1 kilogram gold. In the gold mini, we had introduced LES for about 1.5 months because other exchanges also have started. They are continuing it, but we have withdrawn it because we didn't see great merit in continuing LES, and still the contract is not gaining any ground. And we have not seen any great progress also in other exchanges where LES is still on. So having said this, we thought we will focus on the existing market, existing products that we have it. If necessary, we may be launching a gold mini contract, a gold mini options contract on futures rather than on commodities, okay, underlying commodity. This is one
here in options.
Yeah. ADT, 1 minute. ADT in options for the 1 minute. 866 crores is in the current 9 months period. 866 as against last year 888 for the corresponding period.
What level you will start charging?
No, as I said, we have seen this, as I said earlier also, we look at about 5,000 crores volume is needed, and without which it may not sustain, and it doesn't yield any much this one, except that it is a sore pain point for the traders in this product. So only when we are able to sustain a good amount of ADT, the exchange will look at charging it. So this is one part of it. Okay.
Sure.
On the gold exchange, we have on the gold spot exchange, I think in the GIFT City, the thought process is instead of domestic exchanges setting up each one exchange and then fighting among us themselves, it is better that we pool our resources and fight with international giants in this, or compete, instead of using the word fight, compete with international exchanges. So that is the understanding of all of us, including the regulators. So we will be going along with other exchanges and depositories and maybe collectively setting up as and when the things are in place. Already Gift City Authorities or IFSCA has organized a working group. We're all part of that, and we will be quickly working out the details of rolling out this. And then once that's all get approved, maybe respective boards also will approve, and then we'll move on in that direction. So that's another initiative. On the electricity features, what is the revenue sharing with IEX? Probably this is not open as yet. We will not be able to disclose it. It is an exclusive contract at this point in time. And let us see when we launch it, and as and when it is needed, I will disclose that.
And bank brokerages distribution progress there?
Yes, banks are currently it's about contributing about 250 crores ADT. And 1 minute. Yeah, that's right. No, I'm sorry.
How many are on board?
About 300 crores ADT. Currently, it is in this current financial year, entire financial year, we have got it. The ADT for the 9 months. But quarter on quarter, it is improving it. There are 6 of them who are currently active on the exchange platform. Okay.
And one last question was on cross margin benefit. Any progress on that so that the index volume goes up?
Yes, on the cross margin benefit, as I said, SEBI asked us to come back after 6 months, notwithstanding that we made an application after 3 months. And SEBI said, please wait for some more time. You come back as we have told you after 6 months. That's what the response has been. And we will wait for maybe another month or 2, and then we'll go back to them. But definitely, by March, we should be able to get it because we launched it in the month of August. So we should be able to get that anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Chirag Patel from Adina Chairs. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead, sir. You're audible.
Yes.
I'm audible?
Go ahead, Mr. Chirag.
Yeah. Sir, I have a few questions. Like in last 1 year, in calendar year 20, we have seen a lot of new traders coming to market.
Sir, your voice is breaking slightly.
Now it's clear?
Better than before, yes, sir.
Yeah. I have a few questions. Like in last 1 year, many new traders entered into market through discount brokerage and even from traditional channel as well. So from next 3 to 5 years point of view, how do we see the trend to catch up in commodity market segment? Because if we look at the globally, other than India scenario, then new traders most of prefer commodity to trade and do speculation versus equity. So how do we see this kind of momentum going forward, and what strategies we put in place so we can garner the volume on our exchange from this emerging budding community of traders?
See, it is difficult to identify whether it is I will not be able to give that figure, but the new clients, new ECCs that are joining, they are almost contributing about 28% they have contributed in Q3. So that's a very good number, that's what I'm very happy about to report. So the more the UCCs, the more the trading. In fact, mobile trading has contributed almost 28% to the total, to the total ADT. So that means, I'm sure all those who contribute through this mobile trading, etc., this kind of devices, is by and large the new generation of investors. Whether they are speculators or whether they are having any other interest in this product, I will not be able to say anything. But yes, so we are on track. That's the way I can tell you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question is from the line of Megha from Pi Square Investments. Please go ahead.
My question is on the crude oil margins. As you said that you are required to reduce the margins going forward. So how much impact would that have on our overall profitability? And second is, what's our tax rate? Like what would be the usual tax rate that will be charged going forward after the MAT credit and everything is over?
See, what is the response of ADT in crude oil to the reduction in margins? I will not be able to say at this point in time, because at this point in time we have about 900 crores of ADT. As against we had 13,000 crores ADT last year. Okay. Now how am I to match that? Probably reduction of the margin may bring back some of the investors who have left. As I already said in the beginning, a part of them have already taken the natural gas, another product we have it. Earlier we had about 1,500 crores natural gas ADT. Now it is 4,500 crores that we have currently. Okay, that's what it has become. About 4,100 crores. Yeah, that's right, 4,100. And so let's see how we will move forward in this product. On MAT credit.
Yeah. So I'll just take your query with regard to the MAT. We have presently, as I mentioned in earlier meets also, presently after all those entries that were passed for December, we have 16 crores left of MAT credit. So hopefully in the next couple of years we should be able to exhaust it, and then we go back to the we'll be able to take advantage of the new tax rates that the government has announced. Yeah, but our effective tax is around 19%, man.
Okay, thank you so much. That's it from my side.
Thank you very much. The next question is from the line of Kunal Sangvi from Banyan Tree Advisors. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity, sir. I had just one question. So last year around we used to talk about the fact that we'll be disclosing the volume mix in terms of speculators and the real participants. Any update on the same?
I think it's on the website. It's being disclosed. On the website, it is getting disclosed. You see that?
Okay, sure. I'll just like
value chain participants. It's there.
Sure. That's helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Utkarsh from Damos Capital. Please go ahead.
Sir, can you give what was the margin percentage on crude oil last year in Q3?
Yeah, you see, the two things. One is the initial margin, other one is the volatility margin. Volatility margin keeps on, varying depending on the intraday volatility. But we had margins as high as even 30, 40, 50% also. Okay, but again, it is as the volatility goes down, they used to get reduced. But this kind of thing has not happened in this particular time, because it is a ad hoc margin, and considering the value, when the crude oil value goes down to 10 rupees or 1,000 rupees, 100 rupees, whatever it is, there's a tendency to greater participation to have it. But then in terms of risk, that is thanks to this negative pricing, the risk has substantially increased. That is why there is a minimum margin of 1.5 lakhs that has been fixed, irrespective of the contract size. Now that is the reason why this contract got badly affected until we fixed the system for allowing the negative prices to be handled, and also the impact on negative pricing on the SGF. So SEBI circular was out. I'm sure some of you must have seen it, how they have dealt with this particular situation. And yes, coming back to your question, the margin, it was as low as 10%, 15%, and it went to as high as 60% also. It hovers around, but it never got stuck at 60%. That's what the point is.
Yeah. So have you incorporated the negative pricing in your technology?
Of course, we have announced last quarter itself, September quarter.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question is from the line of Pranav Mehta from ValueQuest Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, any update on the RFP for a new trading software?
Yeah. The RFP, we've already gone through the process. It's in the final stages of closure in terms of agreement vetting and other things is happening. Once that is done, I'm sure we will sign it off and announce to the market anyway. We will do that. It's in final stages.
Okay. So just one. Last time in the call you said that the board will decide whether do we want to upfront buy out the software or something of that sort. So has a decision been taken at the board level regarding this?
Look, we went by the RFP process, and as I said that 63 months and everybody was allowed to or eligible to participate. There was no problem. So whatever the bids that we received, we have evaluated. Accordingly, the fair, transparent process through we have arrived at pricing, and also selection will happen accordingly. The board is yet to take a call. Once it is done, then obviously we will announce. But it is, as I said, we want to close all loose ends, including some of the clauses of the agreement. Then only we can go ahead. If we award the contract and thereafter we'll sit and across the table to settle the agreement issues, probably that may never get closed.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. The next question is from the line of Mohit Kumar from DM Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I missed the initial part of the conversation. Sir, my question is on the crude volume. When do you expect it to come back to the normal, and when do you expect the margins to reduce to the normal level? And what is the normal level of margin which was there pre-COVID? I'm sorry, but if I'm repeating, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. As I said, currently just last December month, we had 922 crores ADT in crude oil. Okay. But you see the last corresponding December month, 13,000 crores. Or if you say that the corresponding quarter last year, 12,400 crores, and this quarter we had 2,600 crores. Okay. Now the volumes have shrunk drastically, and thanks to this negative pricing or a black swan event, our crude oil margins were as high as 130%. Now it got reduced to now just maybe a fortnight or 3 weeks ago to 50%. Now even 50% also we need to nudge it and bring it down, because even with 50%, it obviously there's no volatility which justifies such kind of margining. So we are working on alternative models, how we can reduce further margin, at the same time secure the system. More important is securing and effective risk management than hurriedly reducing the margin, and that's being worked out. Whether we will be able to restore the trading back into this the volumes will come back or not, I do not know, but we will make every attempt at this point in time to bring back the margins to the level of maybe 20-25%. That's what we are looking at it. As I answered earlier, just 2 minutes ago, the margins last year was varying from 15% to even 60-65%. And that is essentially kicked in because of the volatility margin. So higher the volatility, greater will be the margin. And once the volatility is reduced, maybe within a 15-day or to 1 month period, the margins also get settled down to the lower base. So that's how it happened.
And sir, on the option segment, I believe we are not charging consumer, right, at this point of time.
Yes.
So when do you expect, to charge on the option segment, and how it is doing, how it has done in Q3 compared to last year?
Yeah. See, as I said, options is about 800 odd crores, which I said ADT, and it remained by and large the same figure, even the corresponding period last year also. What is more important is, since every time analysts ask, we will start charging, but that would not yield any income. But it will be a sore point for the traders and other participants in this. I can tell you it's hardly any money that we will get it, because it's not on the ADT we will charge you. When it comes to options, we have to charge on the premium. So what you are seeing is the underlying value of the contract also. That is not the charge, we will not charge 200 rupees per crore in this case. That will be on the option premium. The option premium is usually 4 to 5% of the total ADT. So on that, again, it will be much smaller, this one. So let's understand that is the way it works. And probably we will wait for about 5,000 crores of ADT, even for us to think of charging something on that. Thank you.
And so lastly, on the bullion exchange, sir, where are we right now? Has there been any progress in the last quarter in terms of regulation?
The GIFT City authorities, IFSCA, have already released the regulations, and the thought process is that we should only set up one exchange. All of us come together and set up one exchange, which will be competing with other international bullion exchanges, and the government will help us whichever way we have to do it, so that we will be able to compete with international exchanges. But if it is multiple exchanges, then obviously we will be fighting among ourselves or competing among ourselves, and it is nobody's interest. So we are all working on the working group has been constituted. All exchanges and depositors will come together, and then after the working group finalizes results, its report, then implementation process will start.
The last one is that those refiners and testers we are trying to impanel, and the target date we had said in the last con call was December for lead, and for gold it was supposed to be November. So where are we in there? Can you comment on that?
See, we have already, the gold refiners process has been completed. We are just waiting for SEBI to say go ahead. Then the moment they say, we will be announcing it. In the case of lead, we already have completed one round of tester process where the consumers of the lead will be giving their certificate. So one round is done. The second round will be started after 1 month of gap, and then thereafter whatever the refinery producers after 1 month of gap, from that batch again few tons will be picked up and sent to another set of consumers, usually the battery manufacturers. Again, they will see the application, the use of lead, and then if they also certify, then those refiners will be empaneled. So here it has been delayed because the SEBI has suggested that we should get this lead specification empaneled by or rather accredited by BIS also. So we have filed an application with BIS. BIS is also actively pursuing it. And so once the BIS grade is designated, then our lead, instead of calling it as an exchange grade, it will be a BIS lead grade, whatever 1, 2, 3 number that they give it. It's like that. That is the reason why it is delayed.
Understood, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. A request to all the participants, please restrict to one question per participant. If time permit, please come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. The next question is from the line of Anuj Kumar from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Congratulations on reasonably good set of numbers. My question is on the other income in the financial, whether it is a sustainable one in the coming quarters?
Could you kindly repeat your question? I couldn't hear it. Sustainable. Yes, sustainable, is it? I mean, is that your question?
Hello.
Yeah, could you repeat your question, please? Hello?
There is a spike in... Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, please go ahead.
My question is on the spike in other income sequentially, and whether this other income is a sustainable one in the coming quarters?
See, I mean, as we mentioned in earlier discussion, other income mainly consists of our treasury income. So
Other income.
Yeah, that's what I'm mentioning. The other income mainly consists of our treasury income. So as you're aware, we have a reasonably good portfolio, and based on our portfolio, the way the bond markets have moved from in June as well as September and December, we have been able to book good gains. But going forward, it all depends on the bond market, how the bond market works, and I don't think yeah, that's it. Yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question is from the line of Aksh Vora from Praj Financials. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to know what would be the revenue sharing in the GIFT City if we tend to put up a one exchange combined with BSE or NSE. So how the things would progress in those cities?
Well, at this point in time, our desire is that we will be equal shareholders in the company.
Okay. And currently, what is the turnover in bullions by, say, BSE arm, or what is the revenue turnover generated or ADT generated in GIFT City?
No. There is no bullion exchange in spot exchange. We are talking about bullion spot exchange.
Yes.
There's no exchange as of now.
Okay. I think so. BSE had a subsidiary and it's operating from GIFT City.
That is IEX, is the derivatives exchange. Okay. That.
Okay.
Right. India exchange or something like that we call it. But it's not. That's not the bullion exchange. It will be different.
Right, okay. So,
and it will be a spot exchange, bullion spot exchange. It will be International Bullion Exchange, IBE. It's called under the regulations.
Right. So, do we also tend to put up derivative products in GIFT City, or?
There is no plan as of now.
Okay. And slightly going forward, do we think the mix between what it used to be earlier, like the mix in between bullion, silver, like the base metals, energy, and crude oil, and would be back to normal, or it will be still more of volatility going ahead?
No. As you know, this market, each product is driven by its volatility, and that nobody changes. That is the underlining or the bedrock of this functioning of this exchange. So, which particular combination generally this will work, I will not be able to say. Depending on the volatility, it will be. But broadly speaking, the product mix will continue to dominate the way it is currently for the next few years. But we expect the Bulldex and Metaldex to lead as we go along, probably once we get the cross margin benefit.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you very much. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Kunal Agarwal, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. I have two quick questions. One is, what kind of volume would you expect from the refiners in the bullion segment once they actually join? And the second is, will the exchange in GIFT City in any way cannibalize the bullion volumes that we currently have on our exchange? Will the exchange in GIFT City impact our current bullion volumes at all?
Well, first question with regard to the bullion refiners empowerment, whether it will bring in more volumes. It's not a direct relationship between the two. But what will happen is the metal that they are currently producing is directly getting traded in the spot market. Once they are also permitted to deliver on the exchange platform, some of the customers may come and then take deliveries on the exchange platform. So the more and more integration happens with the physical market, more and more see MCX as the platform for trading in bullion. Okay, this is one major part of the goal that we wanted to achieve. So greater integration will take place with the industry, and this is very important to understand. Coming back to the other, whether IBE, International Bullion Exchange, will eat away any of the volumes on the exchange platform? My answer is no, because that was a spot exchange. This is a derivatives exchange. The contract is a 2 months tenure. What IBE can do and may do, and there are the working group is working out what kind of business model that we should be pursuing it, and what kind of concessions or what kind of regulatory facilitation that we should seek is being worked out. Essentially, the imports that are currently coming into the country, if they come through this exchange, that to that extent the volumes on the International Bullion Exchange will increase. Probably that will also bring in more and more liquidity, and some of the players in the international market who are maybe trading in other exchanges may come to the GIFT City International Bullion Exchange for their requirements. Now, one important thing we must bear in mind is almost India is a 25% consumer of gold that is being gold over produced. If that is the case, at least we must have so much say in the price determination, and that should happen in our GIFT City. That's the way our thinking is.
I see. And sir, we recently read that it is public information because it was disclosed that even Titan had a subsidiary, it is in the gold trading business, which has recently been empaneled into MCX.
That's right.
And Titan had disclosed this. If you could just help us understand, sir, what would be the exact nature of business that it would be undertaking on MCX?
No, they are working as a client through some broker, and so they thought it is good to have their own subsidiary, and through that subsidiary they undertake the transactions on the exchange platform, their own consumption. Maybe going forward they may we don't know, to extend that services to other clients also. So at this point in time, maybe they have taken only a membership of the exchange, and I think if I'm not mistaken, they have activated it also. That's the way it is. So earlier they were hedging through the member brokers of other member brokers. Now they can do it themselves. That's the way it is. It doesn't change.
Thank you, sir.
It will shift from one member to the Titan own subsidiary.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask the question. The next question is from the line of Sujit Jain from ASK Investment Managers. Please go ahead.
So you spoke about 300 crores of liquidity with 6 bank brokerages. Typically, their market shares in cash volumes in equity exchanges are very high. So here on MCX in commodities, how much time and business development do you think it would take for them to be meaningful players?
As I said, there are 6 of them currently operating on the exchange platform, and each one have their own technology requirements as well as the other operational requirements. They have been in equity markets for more than maybe 3 decades, but that's not the case with the commodity markets. And in fact, they were permitted very recently. So 3 decades of experience versus 1 or 2 years it should be borne in mind. Similarly, the commodity market products are not suited for anybody and everybody, as the landscape available for the equity retail investors is totally different from the one that is available for commodities. So keeping that in view, probably the growth will be slow, but it will be a very determined growth, in the sense they have access to a lot of corporate the corporate client base who must be having exposure to commodities. Now, if that exposure to commodities, if they are able to hedge on the exchange platform, to that extent they can mitigate the risk. This is where I have been telling in the last 2-3 conferences or investor calls that this is something which they are taking it. It takes time for them to convince the client to hedge on the exchange platform. But once it is done, I think that's it. The client knows the advantage of doing hedging on the exchange platform. Yes, if you expect a growth like the one which is happening on equities, it may not happen, but it definitely they are going to be a major player in the next maybe 2-3 years time.
What business development role we can play here to accelerate this process?
As I said, we will. It's a one-to-one engagement for most of the corporate clients. So in terms of business development, we do engage with these corporates and bring them to the see that who are their bankers, and then do a matchmaking wherever we have got such kind of relationship. Similarly, these firms, if we are able to convince them to expedite their IT developments, which we are doing it, of course, and then expedite their IT development, they will be able to launch the products faster. If they are ready, then thereafter we can convince some of the clients who are, especially some of the hedgers, they are averse to going through some of the brokers. Means I would say brokers in the sense non-institutional brokers. So they prefer to go to institutions like banks. Probably we will be able to establish that relationship. So much we can do.
Just one last question is to understand the role of these new refiners that you are enlisting on the exchange, where their certified deliveries can happen. In the ecosystem, how important this is? Earlier, whose certification was being used as a refiner, and does that save some cost for the customer or for the exchange, and then therefore volumes can go up?
Well, see, there is a much everything cannot be converted into a kind of number of cost saving for you or me. You means the exchange or a customer. What we, as I've already explained, we need to promote the domestic industry to use this exchange platform. That is the larger goal and objective. How do we do that? Unless their metal is acceptable, in the case on the exchange platform. In the existing ecosystem, we say only LBMA refiners gold is approved. In India, we have 30 odd refiners in India. Only maybe 2 or 3 are empaneled, okay, by LBMA. Rest are all from international markets. So LBMA is just is not that LBMA guaranteeing us anything, okay. So we thought we should be promoting our domestic industry. We should be helping the domestic refiners have a platform recognition, looking at their processes, looking at their technical compliance requirements that they have adopted, and looking at the certifications and the quality audit that they are going through. We are planning to empanel them. What will happen? The customers of those refiners will also look at the exchange platform, and they will not be losing money because MCX price may command a premium, or the delivery on the exchange may command a premium over other metal brands which are not empaneled on the exchange platform. At least those refiners will be benefited to that extent.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Sandeep Jain from Birla Sun Life Insurance. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi. Just one question. As a company, do we have any defined dividend policy? Or if not, are we trying to make any defined dividend policy?
We have it on our website, the dividend policy document.
Okay. As a percentage, have we defined? Okay, I'll check that, but if you can.
It is about 75% of the maximum payout at this point in time. Currently, we have.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. I will now hand the conference over to Mr. Reddy for closing remarks.
Yeah, thanks to one and all for being present for 1 hour. Otherwise, also I have been taking questions on a one-to-one calls. Thank you so much. Thank you for being present. Thank you, Mr. Nirav, for organizing this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Multi Commodity Exchange of India Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.